welcome to Posse Presents. We're here tonight. We've survived our first week of daylight savings time. Hope everybody is not too dragging in the process. It's always lots of getting used to. Anyway, I'm going to rush right into business here. With me on the phone is, or with trying to be on the phone. Are you there? Hildy, are you there? Hildy, are you there? Oh, we're not doing well. Okay, so I'm trying to have a phone call, and there's just like a lot of things that are going wrong tonight with this phone call. Is she on the phone? All right, tell her, oh man. Tell her to try back again, one more time. Okay, yeah, because I can see. Hello?
I'm back.
I got her.
I couldn't step out, then I lost reception.
Okay.
Stay where I was.
All right, so we're on the air. We're past this. Thank God this is live TV and people understand all the things that go wrong for me. But anyway, with me on the phone is Hildy Martus, and she's a friend of mine who is a close follower of the Puppy Doe case, which, as I mentioned last week, is now in court. And Hildy has attended several of the pretrial and at least one of the actual, now that it started since March 6th, dates. Hildy, about how many dates have you been to?
I went to a lot of the pretrial hearings. I went to one jury selection hearing, and I went to, I can't remember if it was one or two. No, I went to two actual trial dates.
Okay, about how many people would you say Puppy Doe supporters have been in attendance?
Between 10 and 15 regulars. They go every day. Between 10 and 15.
Okay, so
Puppy Doe supporters are sitting in the trial.
So, and these are people that like have pretty much been in it throughout.
They've been what?
In it throughout the whole ordeal.
Yes, yes, yes. These are the people that from the very beginning were outraged and touched by this animal abuse case and are very emotionally invested in seeing justice for this dog. These are the ones that are coming regularly to the trial.
And there have been some very strict rules put into place by the judge. You know, you're not allowed to wear any attire.
Yeah.
You have to have a certain demeanor. You can't protest. What has been the atmosphere like in the courtroom throughout this pretrial and now that the trial has started? What is that like?
In the courtroom, the jury is very attentive and taking down notes. And I've watched one particular juror who is visibly shaken. I can see that he's visibly shaken. The rest are pensive and serious about this case. I haven't seen much emotion from where I'm sitting except for one particular juror. I can see distress. The atmosphere in the courtroom is with the Commonwealth. The persecution is on their toes and presenting their evidence, and the defense is also on his toes, trying to create doubt in the evidence.
Of course, because you know, why not?
Both the prosecution and the defense are serious about what they're presenting to the judge when they're cross-examining the witnesses. And presenting the evidence to the jury.
And I imagine the judge is no joke in this whole thing, because he's been very strict and very serious throughout.
Well, we've always had different judges, but for the pretrial hearing, but we have one. I've seen a woman judge. The last two times I was there, I've seen the same woman judge, and she is, she's serious. I mean, if somebody she'll strike something or she'll say that it's admitted. she's very serious about this case as well.
And that's as it should be. Now, you were there for probably the toughest day that's going to be had during this trial. You were there when they were discussing her being found and the injuries, and the vet was on the stand. Do you think that they've hidden anything from the public? Was it the same? And how tough was that to sit through?
Originally, I didn't want to go to the trial because I knew it would be tough. I wanted to be one of the protesters outside the courthouse. But because there was a 500 ban buffer zone, we can't go near the court within 500 feet, and we can't wear anything in the courtroom related to animals. But I was in the courtroom because I needed to do something. I was probably there for one of the toughest days. They showed on the screen as evidence Puppy Doe in the body bag. They showed pictures of her mutilated and starved body, and they went into detail of every injury to her body and how it happened and how it affected her. Yeah, it was difficult to see and hear. Seeing her starved and mutilated body, and the vet who did the necropsy explained it in detail. That was hard, but I felt as though I was a witness for her. I was there for her. So, that made me feel better.
Well, you're doing a good thing in as much as, she needs all the support. She's gone, she's out of her suffering.
Right.
But we certainly need to make sure that he doesn't get the slap on the wrist that so many other animal abusers have gotten, and really in the hope that it helps both the judge and the jury understand that people aren't going to stand for this.
Exactly. Well, a lot of people believe she's watching us. Some people believe she knows we're there and she's watching us. A lot of people believe that. Also, this case is being taken very, very seriously because he's dangerous. He's a sadist. And he's a con artist.
Oh yeah.
He's very manipulative. The granddaughter that hired him to be the caretaker, he totally manipulated her. That he was studying to be a clergyman. He was found guilty of larceny from money and property of the senior he cared for. He was also convicted of larceny of writing bad checks of the church that he was working for. So he's a con artist. And
Oh yeah.
So
Clearly he stops at nothing if he's going to rob a church.
Excuse me?
I said clearly he's going to stop at nothing if he's that kind of that would rob a church.
He's perfectly incarcerated.
Oh yeah.
In a larceny case.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And let's hope that he doesn't see the light of day for a good long time.
Exactly. Well, many of us want to see street justice in the prison. And I have a friend who did his ministry in prison, and he said they're making his life miserable. I don't want to go into detail what they're probably doing.
And I've heard...
But they're not going to touch him yet. While he's on trial, they won't touch him yet.
I've heard similar stories from other sources. So, yeah, the prison culture is its own thing. And
I was told there's a lot of animal lovers in there.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, can I tell you? Well, he said they're probably putting urine and feces in his food. He's not eating. They're making his life miserable. But when the trial's done, street justice will be done for what he did to the dog. That's what I'm learning. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that too. And it's jail is jail. It's a serious thing, and
Right.
I just we'll see what happens. I want to see legal justice for him, because that will set a precedent in court. That will set, that will set the laws in place.
They do see him as being a dangerous person. Anybody who he's a sadist and he's manipulative, and that's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So the court, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts seems to be taking this case seriously. And this was the worst case of animal abuse they had ever seen. And because of her, the laws are now stricter in Massachusetts for animal protection.
Well, as it should be. You know, there are so many groups working towards getting that across this country. You know, my friends, Desmond's Army. You know, I'm going to touch on the Patrick's Law a little later in the show, and you know, it's nice to know that these animals aren't suffering in vain. You know, it needs to stop, but maybe it will.
What's tough for me is you just want to go over and grab him. You just want to go over and swear at him. You see him sitting there. He's wearing a suit now. You see him sitting there. It's tough to contain yourself, but you have to.
Yeah. Oh, I can't.
Otherwise, you get thrown to the court.
Yeah. No, I can't imagine sitting in the room with somebody like that. I give you and the others a lot of credit because, it requires a lot of constraint.
And somebody I know who was a witness has said the outrage and the protests around this case did impact the judge. The outrage and protests did have an effect on this case. I was told that by one of the witnesses.
Well, you know, anybody who isn't affected by something so serious and heinous, you know, there's a lot to be said for the lack of a soul.
Right, exactly. He's a sociopath.
Absolutely. Hildy, I thank you so much for joining us. I know you're at work and I don't want to keep you unnecessarily.
It's all right. Thank you for spreading the word.
No, thank you.
For better protection for our four-legged friends. Thank you for making the public aware of cases like this and that things need to change, and we need to protect our animals through law and through education. Thank you for having this on your radio station.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Hildy, you take care and I'll talk to you soon.
Love ya.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, folks, that was Hildy Martus calling from Massachusetts. She has obviously been to some of the court dates, and she's very well abreast of the situation, which is why I thought it would be nice to talk to someone. You know, it's easy for a reporter to report, and, you know, it's easy for the news stations to, you know, throw out a little blurb, an obligatory blurb, because this is something so made the national headlines. But to have someone who is actually an animal person to be able to report on it is to me a whole different level. And so I thank Hildy greatly for coming on the air. So just to kind of rewind, March 6th was the long-awaited start of the Puppy Doe trial. And guys, can we get the Puppy Doe pictures up? And it was at it's being held at the Norfolk Superior Court in Dedham, Mass. Puppy Doe was found in a park on August 31st of 2013 in Quincy, near where her abuser was living as a caretaker for an elderly woman. Puppy Doe had been acquired off of Craigslist in June of 2013. Apparently a series of Craigslist exchanges, unfortunately. Her origins were traced, and it was discovered that her name had been Kia, and she was a victim of that Craigslist cycle of animal abusers. You know, can't say enough that you just don't give an animal away for free on Craigslist. You know, rescues and shelters have enough trouble sometimes weeding through people and making the right decision. Trust me, the average person in a home that has a pet that they want gone is not qualified to read character of a person who is interested in their animal. They're just not. And I'm going to stand by that statement until the day I die. Anyway, many have attended the court dates in support of finding justice for this poor soul. And now that things are in full swing, the horrific details are being reviewed, and Kia's story is as difficult now to hear as it was then. The defense is claiming that Puppy Doe ran away from the man accused of savagely abusing her, and that she suffered at the hands of others, but it just doesn't add up. There are 11 counts of animal cruelty in this case. Expecting protests, the judge, as we discussed with Hildy, has banned any activity within 500 feet of the courthouse, and no one is allowed to wear anything that refers to the case in court. He is already serving time for unrelated offenses, and Puppy Doe supporters, of course, hope that additional time will be served for this heinous act of disregard for an innocent animal's life. Now, these pictures are very difficult to look at. You know, there's the before picture. You know, he is probably her Craigslist picture, and what she was reduced to by the time she was found in the park. And it's just, again, I'm not going to go into extraordinary details, but you can just look at her and you can see that she was broken, literally just broken. And the people who found her in the park said she was just the sweetest thing. They gave her some water, they gave her some food. It's probably some, you know, 2 things she hadn't had in a really long time, and she was just nothing but gentle and kind and sweet, which makes this even more difficult to imagine. Now, as far as her abuser, let's take a look at how he's changed in the last few years. He's gone from this to this to this. So clearly it's taken its toll on him, and that's a good thing. I can't even utter his name because it makes me angry, so we're going to leave it at that. But, you know, how does it feel probably not to eat very well? And, you know, I don't know. He's lost an awful lot of weight there, and he's not looking too healthy, and I'm okay with that, and that's all I've got. Okay, I'm going to take the camera back. We will take, we will look at the Puppy Doe case more as it goes on. Again, it started on March 6th and is expected to run about 3 weeks. So we're into it, and probably not quite at the end. Hopefully there will be justice for Puppy Doe. And if you are interested in finding out more, all you have to do is Google it, and there's a wealth of information that will come up, and news stories, and I'm sharing them on my pages as, you know, I see fit. But you can, like I said, you're welcome to check them out on your own. Okay, today we remember a very special dog, one I refer to often, and one we should never forget. Let's get the pictures of Patrick up. On March 16th, 2011, a pit bull who had been starved for months was placed in a garbage bag and thrown 19 stories down a garbage chute in Newark, New Jersey. The dog was barely alive, but managed to move just enough to be noticed by the worker who had come into the room to place all the trash into a compactor. The dog was rushed to a vet, and in spite of the odds against him, Patrick, as he was named, not only survived, but he has thrived and become a symbol to so many of us. In 2013, Patrick's abuser received a slap on the wrist, prompting S1303, aka Patrick's Law, to be signed into effect in the state of New Jersey, increasing penalties for animal abuse in that state. Of course, there's much more to the story. There was a custody battle, which the judge rightly would not allow to take place any part in his abuser's trial. He wouldn't let it even be considered until afterwards. You know, things like that just should not happen. It should be all about the dog, not about, you know, where he's going to end up. He was in great hands at Garden State Vet. The vet who took care of him was able to take him home forever. And, you know, not for nothing, look at the job they did. This dog made the most incredible comeback, and March of that year was when I first got on Facebook, and that's when Patrick's story broke, and that sucked me right in. And I wasn't planning on staying on Facebook, but for the love of Patrick and to have to know how his story came out, I started following every Patrick page I possibly could, and that's where I started getting my Facebook animal advocacy voice. So I owe that to Patrick for sure. But look at how beautiful he is, and look at how far he's come. And certainly this dog is a miracle, and one we should never, ever, ever forget. All right, taking the camera back for a second, I do have a few adoptables, so I want to get through them before we run out of time. This has been kind of a crazy show as far as the beginning with the phone call and having Puppy Doe story and the Patrick story, but I don't want to neglect the adoptables because they are as important as anything else. Let's have a look at Buttercup. Look at that face. I can't even begin to stand it. I just want to smoosh that face all day long, every day, forever. She is about 1.5 years old and full of life. She loves to play and be around people. Once she gets some of her energy out, she calms down and will settle down. Buttercup loves attention, but also knows how to just hang out. She knows how to sit and would probably be a great student for learning other commands and anything else. Some dogs are very agreeable and very eager to please and learn, and it's a beautiful thing to cultivate that and see how far you can make them shine. So anyway, Buttercup is at Meriden Animal Control, and the number there, if you are interested in meeting this beautiful girl, is 203-235-4179. Once again, that's 203-235-4179. Next up, we have Roger. Look at that face. Look at those eyes. I can't even. He's got like crazy eyes, funk lip. I love him. Unfortunately, he was returned to the shelter, and I'm going to guess that it was just not a good match from the start. Roger is an active boy who probably just needs, like so many others, some time, patience, and training. He's described as a funny goofball. Roger loves kids, but he needs to be an only pet. So unfortunately, that puts him in a different niche, and as much as, somebody might want to just go run and scoop him up and add him to their pack, that's not in the cards for him. I love this action shot. I mean, that is just great. He's probably just scooping up that ball and kind of just epitomizes his energy. I love this dog, is just beautiful, and I bet you he would be a perfect companion. Once again, just one that needs, this picture with this face, once again, that just needs a little love and time and training, and he was probably more than the people who returned him could bargain for. Not everybody's willing to work with a dog that needs work, and you know what? Most of them do need work, so if you're not willing to put in the effort, don't take home the dog. All right, so next up is Carter. This dog is gorgeous, and I have to admit that I want to connect the dots. I'm so stupid it hurts. I love this dog's markings, his little dots. I just want to seriously connect the dots. Anyway, Carter was part of a cruelty case, and now he is available for adoption. This poor boy was left out in the cold on a 3-foot chain with no food or water. Yes, there were charges brought against the person who did that to him, so fear not. Anyway, Carter has been good with other dogs and cats, and he is also at the East Haven Animal Shelter, and the number there is 203-468-3249. Once again, 203-468-3249, And of course, that is the number for Roger as well. And hopefully, these guys will all find their forever homes, places that will stick and be good to them and truly give them love for life. And so, let's run through them all one more time if we can. All, like I have a million of them. There's Buttercup, and her face is just so precious, and I just see her probably being the greatest dog. And Roger, that picture speaks so many I mean, just so, the picture's worth 1,000 words. That one kills me. Funk lip, crazy eyes, but he's gorgeous, and you could tell he's full of energy, and you know, just needs to burn it off. Most of these dogs do. And then there's Carter, who just looks like such a big smushy love bug. And I want to connect the dots. I'm sorry, it's not sorry, but he's gorgeous, and he looks like a mellow mush to me. All right, so I'll take the camera back. And you know, I can't say enough, as I already touched on, you really have to make a commitment to a dog or a cat. They require attention, they require training, they require positive discipline. They need love, they need affection. You know, you need to let them get their energy out. They need to burn it off, or you're going to have a dog who is, you know, misbehaving, misdirected. Make that commitment and stand by it, folks. I'm going to say peace, love, and dogs. Until next time, everyone, thank you very much for watching, and good night.